Okay, shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I heartily welcome all of you in the Langlitz online lecture series day 9 in the second session. At the outset, we, the team of Langlit, need to thank all the participants who have joined with us by logging Zoom app regularly and those who are watching, enjoying, and learning with us live on Facebook and YouTube channel Langlitz Educators. Thank you very much for your love, words of appreciations, blessings, and academic support. We have been receiving overwhelming response from all over India and abroad as well. Nationally and internationally acclaimed academicians are going to deliver their talks on various aspects of language and literature on the forthcoming days. In addition to that, it's not the end of lecture series. It's just a beginning. We will arrange such a lecture series every now and then. We will try our best to invite well-known academicians during this lockdown period. We are There are few instructions for the participants. We are giving unique certificate to each and every participants, but participants need to fill Google form and send their Zoom participation screenshot or YouTube channel Langlist Educators subscription screenshot where you have watched all these videos to the email ID elangletmotivators@gmail.com. Our designer is working on the certificate. Very soon you will receive the Google Form link. We are not generating certificates by Google Form. We are working on the certificates manually. It takes time, and you need to approach me through mail or my mobile number after 7th of May. You can also visit the website link www.langlit.org. Kindly keep in touch. Don't forget to subscribe our channel so that you will get the further notification. So let's share and grow together. Friends, today we have with us a well-known, nationally acclaimed academician, Dr. Ankita Khanna ma'am. She is a she is an associate professor of English and the chairperson Center for Humanities at PP Savai University, Surat. She is also the program coordinator for the foundation courses for BA honors with the School of Liberal Arts and Management Studies. She has teaching and training experience over 15 years. She is a postgraduate in English from CSJM University Kanpur and also the recipient of the gold medal at the undergraduate level. She has acquired the CELTA certificate from the British Council and a language teaching certification from the University of Southern UK. Her research interests include Indian writing in English, English as a second language studies, language and society, and English language teaching. She has also been an instructor and corporate trainer. She has successfully trained employees of some of the leading organizations in the areas of soft skills. So, without further delay, may I invite Dr. Ankita Khanna ma'am to uh, speak on social media and language learning. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really a warm welcome. So
Pleasure is all.
I'll start my presentation. Okay, so as you can see, today I'll be talking on the topic that is social media and language learning. Okay, but before we start talking about how can we incorporate social media into learning and teaching of language, we need to contemplate on certain things. What influences language? Is language an influencer or language gets influenced? What is the role of slangs in language nowadays? How acceptable are they? What is the impact of social media on language? There are a number of new words that are being added to language every year. So, what is the acceptance rate of those words? And we as teachers, what exactly can we do about this entire scenario? Now, when we talk about language learning, there are internal factors and there are external factors that influence language learning. Internal factors like age, personality, your experiences, your cognition. And then there are some external factors like curriculum, the medium of instruction, your exposure to native speakers and the language, the target language, and most importantly, your culture and the status. So, how are these factors related in acquisition of English language? We will have a look in the coming slides. And when we talk about the influence of culture on language learning, there is one very important aspect that we cannot ignore, and that is the usage of social media. Now, how is this impacting our language learning and teaching? Let us try to figure that out. Okay, now let us have a look at these messages. Have a look at the messages on your screen. This one is really funny. This also tells the difference between digital natives and digital immigrants. So, the impact of social media on language is something like this. There is an excessive use of text speak or net speak that we witnessed in the earlier slides. A lot of acronyms are being introduced in the language. A lot of emoticons are making way in language, especially in writing. Special characters are there. A whole new language of abbreviations has been introduced. And of course, there is a change in syntax. For example, the introduction of hashtag, which we were not even familiar with, say, 5 years ago, right? So all this is happening, and all this is happening with the students whom we as teachers are dealing with. So how prepared are we to deal with the students who are exposed and who are the users of this kind of language? And not to forget the memes that we see and that we share every day on Instagram. These are very popular four memes that I have chosen to be presented here. The first one is the Zomato guy, I think Sonu. He overnight he became popular just because of his smile. This one is the name of this. The second meme is the distracted man, and this one is the coffin meme, and that one is lady with the cat. So now these memes, they have somehow, or they are trying to replace the text or the verbal language with graphics or with images, right? So how can we incorporate all these things into what we try to do in the classroom? There are some more effects of social media on English language uh, of our students. There is a decline in writing abilities of students because they resort to writing short forms and acronyms, and everything is uh, acceptable in their word. Being unable to separate good English from bad English. The word is generally acceptable English, but then now every English, everything that they are doing is acceptable. So is it really good? Or do we as teachers should stop them from using such words and such acronyms? What is our role? It also talks about de-emphasis on body language because we are hooked, we are glued so much to WhatsApp, and the communication largely takes place through chatting and texting. So what is the importance of body language now? What is the importance of tone, voice modulation? How are we going to work on that? Face-to-face communication is not altogether become non-existent, but yes, definitely it is on the decline. I have witnessed people staying in the same house and they are texting to each other from two different rooms, right? A son is texting his mother on WhatsApp that he is hungry, he wants food. So that also leads to some kind of impersonal touch in the communication. So that connect, that personal touch, that connection, that bonding is somewhat missing. But then the question is there a flip side to all this that is happening? Is there something, is there a bright light that we can see at the end of the tunnel? There are new words that are being added to the English language. Old words are acquiring new meanings. We all know as English language teachers that the meanings of uh, a lot of words, has changed over a period of time. For instance, if we talk about the word gay, or if we talk about the word virus or mouse, for example, of course, rat is still a mouse, but then we have another mouse also. More concise language use because of the texting and typing. The people have learned how to actually express themselves in a very precise and concise manner. Idea of getting to the point as quickly as possible and not beating around the bush, and easier to bring new word trends to the masses because of this globalization, and everyone from every part of the world is now mm, now together on a common platform on Facebook or WhatsApp or Instagram. So there is a lot of exchange of language that is happening, which is in a way good. So there is a flip side to whatever is happening to the language. Now, what is the new lingo? You can see I have shortlisted some random words to have a look. The words such as baby moon, Bitcoin, buzzworthy, dappy, all these words are newly added to the dictionary, and most of them are informal, as you can see, because they are added to the dictionary on the basis of their popularity, because they are being used by masses. And words like this. So we can say that the language has definitely evolved. Language has always been evolving. In earlier times, we used to express ourselves with a lot of uh, emotions and personal touch and with longer sentences comparatively. I'm not saying that emotions and personal touch is missing nowadays, but definitely there is a difference in the way we express ourselves today. Now, how can we as teachers use social media to contribute to language learning? And what are exactly the benefits if we include social media into our classroom? We can see I have listed down number of benefits here. We obviously have linguistic benefits. We get exposure to lots of vocabulary which is otherwise missing in maybe our culture. New ways of presenting yourself, expressions, idioms, and most importantly access to a lot of authentic material. Cultural benefits, again, access to native speaker. There are so many platforms where we can connect with the people all over the world, and we can have insight into their routine, their culture, their opinions, and how they actually use language in real sense. We also have social benefits of using social media. Ownership of learning, basically it shifts from the teacher to the student is more involved in the entire process because basically he is more interested in doing things now. It's no more a dry text or no more a textbook that is given to the students that to read and to understand. He is still reading, but he is reading the material of his choice, what he wants to read. Okay, now let us know something about our learners, the students who are we are dealing with. Most of the students, they have low interest in language learning, especially if we talk about the universities and college and the students who have a STEM background. Okay, so they're largely their interest is to learn the subjects of their core area and not too much in learning of the language. Now, there was a study by Prensky conducted in 2001, which says that the learners nowadays are used to high speed, graphically rich, and globally accessible resources, and they feel powering down when they enter the classroom. A report by Harris in 2010 suggests that 18 to 24-year-olds spend at least 4.5 hours online every day. And this report was made in 2010. So we can imagine the change. The number of hours must have been increased. And this one is really shocking. I want all of you to pay attention to this last point. There was a study conducted by Mecca and Word Group in 2011, and it says 53% students between the age of 16 to 22 and 48% aged 23 to 30 said that they would rather give up their sense of smell than an item of technology. So these are some serious issues and serious things that we as teachers need to contemplate, and we need to know about our learners. How important the social media or technology is for them. So we as teachers, we need to understand not only the needs and requirements of our learners, but also what are the motivating factors, what are the interests of our learners, and how we as teachers can teach them language in the best way possible. This was about our learners. Now, when the researchers conducted research on how does social media actually help students in learning or whether it helps at all. So let us have a look. Lee and Mark in 2014 carried out an intercultural exchange program between 10 students of Spanish in the US and 18 students of English in Spain, and they found very positive perceptions of Twitter for these purposes. 94% of the students based in China who were learning English as a second language believed that their English had improved with the help of Twitter. And there are many other studies that have proven the fact that social media and the platforms, digital platforms, actually help students learn better. It also is in sync with the communicative approach of language learning, which talks about bringing in authentic material and realia to the classroom so that students are not limited to the textbookish learning or just to the concept of grammar. They exposure real time language and they deal with the real time language. So of all these studies, it is proven that social media, it facilitates the development of intercultural, socio-pragmatic and audience awareness. It also provides integration of formal and informal learning. Now, if we talk about specific platforms, for instance, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, how are these platforms important and what are these contributing to the, how are these contributing to language learning? For instance, Twitter can contribute heavily towards pressy thinking and editing and synthesizing of language. Facebook is a very good platform for exposure to native speakers and get experience of real language, how people communicate in real life, and cultural understanding of the target language, which is an integral part of learning any language. LinkedIn can help you in professional communication, profile building, resume writing, CV writing, and so on. For instance, if you have a look at the Instagram, it can help a lot in terms of creative writing. University of Davidson has conducted a research that compares Instagram memes to modern folklore. They say that the memes that we see on Instagram is very much related to the folklore that we used to have in earlier times, that is related to oral literature, right? Every group, every culture has its own set of folklores, and in that way they communicate stories. Similarly, every group of Instagram, every culture, every country has its own set of memes that communicate about that culture or language. And then there are blogs, there are wikis, and they all help in acquisition of language in one way or the other. Excuse me. Other than social media, although in this presentation we are just focusing on social media, there are some very interesting educational sites, websites also, like Babel, Memrise, Duolingo, Rosetta Stone. These all have a great, material and exercises and activities that our students can take help of. They can log into this, they can download these apps. These websites are all available in the form of apps also, and then they can use all these for their daily practice. Now I will be talking about uh, Twitter, specifically Twitter for language learning. Now, how can Twitter help in language acquisition? First of all, students, we should advise our students to follow many accounts on Twitter which are related to language learning. Learn vocabulary. We can also teach them, or we can also guide them how to tweet. What are the things that go into tweeting? There is of course the limit. There is a character limit, right? Earlier it was 140, now it has been raised to 280. But then how can you communicate your entire message in 280 characters? We can also ask them to follow an important event on the Twitter and follow what is happening. They can conduct a Twitter interview, they can connect with other schools, and most importantly, they can follow native speakers. Facebook for language learning. There are n number of learning groups on Facebook. You can join. In the next slides, I'll be telling about some specific groups on Facebook that learners can join. They can like the pages that deal with their target language. They can watch viral videos from people that again speak your target language. Add native speakers to your friend list. Follow pages of brands or stuff originating from countries that speak your target language. And check out Social Bakers. Now, Social Bakers is a platform that uh, provides, insights to all kinds of social events. It is not particularly a language learning page, but then if you just go to this page and then you select your target language. What exactly, which English do you want to learn, or do you want to learn Spanish? So just focus on your target language. And again, it's not a language learning page, but the kind of language or the content that is generated there with an native speakers, that will definitely help you acquire your target language. Wiki with books for language learning. How can you go about it? Teachers can post the course syllabus, assignments, and study guides on the wiki. Students can work as a group. They can build one wiki around certain topic. They can use discussion forums to initiate discussions. They can write articles on new issues on Wikipedia. They can create change stories, and there are n number of things that they can do on these digital platforms with special reference to social media. Now, these are some pages on the Facebook that students can like, and then it will help a lot to acquire language. We all know about British Council pages. There are a lot of them. I have just chosen one, Learn English Teens, but then they have a lot of pages country wise and level wise. So you can just put in right filters and see what kind of pages do you want to like. English idioms, daily practice, learn English. This VOA Learning English is an American page that promotes learning of American English. And then, of course, we have our BBC Learning English. English idioms is also a very good page. They also come up with, daily activities. These pages are not something that you just read. Most of them involve students with some kinds of activities. Maybe they'll post an idiom every day, and then you have to respond, or maybe they can just show you a picture and you have to guess which idiom is it, or similarly for vocabulary and other things. So all these are the pages where you can actually work with language. Now, what are the possible activities? This was the earlier slides were related to the kind of pages and the apps that you can like and follow. What are the activities that you can do with your students, even if you are in a classroom? You can give these activities. For instance, imagine you are a YouTuber. Just craft a video about a trendy topic, or a teacher can post new pictures on Instagram every day, images on Instagram, and students need to caption those pictures, or students need to maybe write a small write up on that picture, right? So something like that. Teachers can also create a closed group on Facebook, and all the ideas that you did in the classroom can be discussed there. For instance, what I used to do with my students, and I really liked it, that at the end of every lecture, I will have 10 minutes spare for summarizing the lecture. What exactly happened in the class today? What are your takeaways? What did you learn? What did you not learn? Or what is something that you want to know more about? So this is the platform where we can have such discussions, and maybe we can use it for summarizing everyday classroom learnings. We can also give an activity related to Twitter. You can tweet about a social cause that affects you the most, and also use appropriate hashtags. So if your students are new and they're not aware of how hashtags work, uh, they can take help. And also there is hashtag fi. They can use hashtag fi, and they will find appropriate hashtags related to their post. They can also take up Instagram language challenge. Again, this is a page that you need to like on Instagram, and they give you 28 prompts per month, and two key things about the prompt, and then you have to create your stories and your ideas about that. So it's very popular on Instagram. So you can encourage your students to take this Instagram language challenge. And this is one activity which I did with my students when I was teaching business students. You can set up a company page on Facebook for a closed group, you, your classmates and your teacher. And on that page, you can put your, designed work brochure, or you can share, you can conduct meetings, you can share the minutes of the meetings there. And it means in a way that you are running a company page. How will you promote that page? How will you promote the products and services of that company? But within that closed group. So these are all the activities that we can incorporate in our classroom teaching. Now, these are some links for the teachers also. These are the pages that I follow on Facebook, especially Cafe English and materials for English teachers. I find these two pages very, very helpful. Even if you want to know more about assessments, how to conduct assessments in an innovative way, language testing is a very good page on Facebook. So you can have a look at all these pages. Okay, this was a forward that I received last night, and it made sense to include in my presentation. So just on the lighter note, coming to school is not allowed, but yes, using mobile phones is still allowed. So yes, what can we as teachers do to help them use mobile phones efficiently? These are the references that I have used, and thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. There are few questions.
Sure, sir.
There is one question by Dr. Priya Advani, ma'am.
Okay.
How hearty welcome, Dr. Priya Advani, ma'am. Uh, how much is easy to follow the new lingo?
Hi, Priya. So, your question is that how easy is it to follow
New lingo.
for teachers?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that totally depends on your exposure to social media, whether you are glued to social media for 5 hours, 6 hours a day, or you have something better to do. So I think this language is not very difficult to follow. But then again, because this language generally works in a closed groups, and they have their own meanings which are not known to other people. So sometimes it is really difficult to follow what they are saying unless you are very active on social media. So then you'll start picking what does this mean.
Yes. What is the role of media language awareness?
What is the role of
Media language awareness.
what is
I,
the role of media in language awareness?
I
Is that
think
the
so.
question?
Yes, I hope so.
Okay.
It is not by me.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. Okay, I think in this entire session I have been talking about this. Do we generate language on media, or do we get influenced by language on the media? Now, this is the question.
Question. Yes, it's
Yeah.
true.
We are the one who generate new language, and we are the one who use the language that is already on the
There
floor.
is one more interesting question.
Yeah.
Can you explain with examples how Twitter is beneficial to improve language?
Okay. Mm, First of all, Twitter helps a lot in pressy writing. There is one very important section in English language which is related to pressy writing or concise writing, right? So if we want to express ourselves in limited number of words, generally our students have tendency and habit of writing long sentences, long paragraphs without actually conveying the meaning. They'll write something in 15 sentences which otherwise can be conveyed in say 5 sentences, right? So Twitter is a very good medium if you want to help students with this pressy writing and to be on point while expressing themselves. Number one. And second, also, that as I said, Twitter can also be used for exposure to native language, which is big time missing in our country. So I'm not saying that Indian English is not important or not acceptable, but then, as we all say, that there is an RP and then there is the Queen's English. So generally, if we learn language and if we are exposed to native speakers of English language, I think that will help your students get a hang of their natural conversation, how they actually talk in their real life, which is slightly different from the bookish English that we study or read in the classroom. Hello, 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 Prashant sir. Prashant sir, I can't hear you. Are there any more questions? Prashant sir, I can't hear you. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, I'm audible. I can't
Hello,
hear
sorry
Prashant.
for the yes, yes, so sorry for the interruption.
Okay.
So there was a range problem from my side.
Oh, I was not able to listen to you.
Uh, yes, 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 it's okay, not an issue.
Mm. Okay, so if I am audible, I can read the chats and maybe I can answer some questions if there are any.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
you can take a few questions from Q&A.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay, now there is a question from Diksha Kadam, and she
Mhm.
says, how can we inculcate the culture of using technology for studies also among students of modern era? Very interesting question. We all know that students, our learners, they are glued and they are hooked to social media all the time. But then, are they doing it for the purpose of education? We all highly doubt that, right? So it is again the matter of exposing them to such things. In first place, there is a possibility that they are not at all aware that such pages and such learning sites exist, because they are mostly on the pages or on the sites that are fun loving or that are related to memes or something. But then it is we as teachers who can actually tell them, okay, you like memes, you like working with memes, so this is how we can actually learn language through memes. So we have to guide them and we have to show them that if you like these pages on Facebook, maybe while Facebooking, you're also learning language indirectly. So this is one way we can inculcate, technology or social
There
media
is
in
another question.
education. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mm,
Social media is destroying the grammatical accuracy. What is your opinion about it?
uh, okay, I completely agree to you. In fact, in the first few slides that I showed, this was basically what I was trying to say, that social media is, distorting the language that we have been using, and not only grammar in many ways. But the question is, what can we do? We need to teach our students and our children about filters. if even if they have to go to social media, it is so important for them that they have to be on Facebook for 4 hours. What exactly are they doing on Facebook? That is more important. To be or not to be on Facebook is now beyond our hands. We actually cannot control them. So now what we can monitor is that what are they doing on Facebook, so we can guide and motivate them to like and subscribe to the pages that can add value to their language. And if everyone starts doing that, for instance, I spoke about native speakers. So if you follow the native speakers, there are very less chances that your language will get distorted. In a way, you will learn language. So again, it's about making choices. What do you do on social media?
Yes, there is one more question.
Yes, sir.
Kindly take from Q&A.
Which one? Let me see.
Or you can see there are few questions in chat box as well.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. How social media can be used for developing speaking skills? This question is from Dr. Mahesh Shinde. Uh, okay, sir. Good question. As I said earlier, also that there is a general shift in communication from speaking to writing. Right. This is a general shift. Everyone is now texting. Everyone is, and even from writing to images and graphics. Even writing is not there in some cases. Right. Having said that, if we have to use social media for speaking, I think YouTube is one of the platforms which we can explore. We can ask our students to make videos of them speaking on any topic, extempore, or any such kind of thing, and then post it on YouTube. Every, like most of the people, they have YouTube channels today. Many of my students, they have YouTube channels today. So ask them to do this. Maybe they can enact a small play or skit and post it on YouTube. So they, in this manner, because they have this idea of being viewed by a lot of people, when it goes on YouTube, so many people are watching you. So they are consciously making efforts to be accurate in their language. I hope this helps.
Yes, you can take one more.
Uh, okay, let me see. Thank you, Chetna. Okay, there is a question from Mr. Hemkant Dhade, and he is asking that do you think that social media is affecting the language learners positively or negatively? Okay, so again, I think this also I have told in a way. It is all about making choices. Social media is just a platform. It is just like a television. Now on television, do you watch Tom and Jerry, or do you watch Ramayan, or do you watch whatever? So again, social media in itself is nothing. What do you do on social media, that will determine whether its influence is bad or good. This is all what I can say for this. Yes, Prashant sir.
Yes, you can. Is there anyone wants to ask a question? Okay, I think we are done. Thank you very much, Dr. Ankita Khanna ma'am, for your fruitful, delightful, comprehensive, highly informative, insightful, and enlightening session on social media sites like Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and for the benefit of language learning. In fact, we thoroughly enjoyed and learned a lot from your session. Thank you very much, one and all, for your active participation by logging Zoom, and those who are watching on YouTube channel and made this lecture series a grand success. Today, see you in the evening. We have young and very bright academicians, Dr. S. Kumaran. He is an assistant professor, PG and Research Department of English, Rasipuram. He is going to speak on the literary mind and lockdown experience. And there is another speaker simultaneously. You need to have the same with the same, we can say, webinar ID. Dr. Preeti Joshi is there. Dr. Preeti Joshi, She is a head of a School of Liberal Arts, MIT World Peace University, Pune, and she is going to speak on liberal arts education, the future of a global community. And I think it is very much helpful for uh, many of the young aspirants. Thank you very much, one and all. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I'm ending the meeting. Thank you.